might endorse Linda McMahon in the election?
You know, this is a story that's not a story that keeps coming up. Every time somebody stops me in the hall, a reporter in the Capitol, and says, "What are you going to do in the election?" Here's where I am. I was honored, blessed to be reelected as an independent. And so I'm approaching the elections this year here in Connecticut as most independents do. I'm listening to the candidates. I'm trying to decide what kinds of senators they would be. And then I'm going to decide, once the parties have their nominees and I see if there's any credible third-party candidate, who I'll support. So then the reporter said to me, "You mean it's possible you'd support Linda McMahon?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'm not ready to make a choice. It's theoretically possible, so we'll see. I mean, it's possible I won't get involved at all, but I'll just enjoy being a citizen and cast my vote privately."
But given your rather public stance on sex and violence on television,
yeah.
Wouldn't that rule out endorsing Linda McMahon, considering how she's made her fortune using sex and violence, which is catered toward our children?
Yeah. You know, the first time I met Linda McMahon was around that very subject. I was concerned, and I was working with colleagues in the Senate and Bill Bennett about the messages that World Wrestling was sending out to kids. And we had a good conversation, but you know, she's running for the Senate now, so I'm not going to hold her accountable for anything she did in the past. I want to hear what her ideas are on foreign policy, domestic policy. Obviously, I know Dick Blumenthal for a long time, but he's been focused on being Attorney General. He's been a great Attorney General, but I don't know where he is on a host of other issues, including foreign policy issues. And the same is true of the various gubernatorial candidates. So I don't want to make more of this than it is. I mean, I got elected as an independent. I continue to be registered as a Democrat, and we'll see what happens as this year goes on.
So will you vote in the Democratic primary?
I intend to vote in the Democratic primary.
But you haven't made a decision on the governor's race?
I have not, no.
I find it hard to believe you'd have a problem with an Attorney General running for Senate.
As a concept, the idea of an Attorney General running for Senate is a very pleasing one, and you know, I always have felt a special measure of respect and confidence in attorneys general.
Has it occurred to you that he may not want your endorsement?
It's possible.
How about his,
so, you know, we'll see. I mean, Dick called me a real while back earlier in the year and said he'd like to talk about the campaign at some point. And I said, of course we will. And I got a similar call from Linda McMahon and Tom Foley and even Ned Lamont. But you know, I'm not. I don't want to make myself more significant in this election than I am. I'm generally skeptical about the impact of endorsements, and I'd be particularly skeptical about the impact of my endorsement. But the people in the media are kind enough to keep asking me, so I try to give as honest an answer as I can.
How about Blumenthal's misstatements on his military service? How did it affect you? You got a lot of them.
Well, I think that from my own point of view, it was a mistake. Dick Blumenthal apologized for it. And we move on. To me, I'm much more interested in what Dick has to say on the issues that he'll be dealing with if he's elected to the U.S. Senate. I know him a long time. I have a lot of respect for Dick Blumenthal.
You know, having deferments during the Vietnam War is an issue that should keep someone out of office.
No, I don't.
Now, that's a silly question. Let me ask you something.